Washington Pod presents EARL Nightingale.
Let's talk about attitude. What is a great attitude? A great attitude is an impression we perceive that seems to exude from very special people. We like to be with them. We get good vibes when we see them or they enter a room. In business, we hear top executives say, he turned that department completely around in 3 months. He changed it from one of our worst losers into one of our top profit centers. He's got a great attitude. He just picks people up. They do more for him, and they do it happily. He brings out the best in people. They love him. And the same thing is often said of a woman head of a department or head of a company. These people have great attitudes, and it shines out of them like a light. Now, how does that happen? It seems to be a reflection of their self-esteem, doesn't it? It's what they are on the inside being reflected on the outside. What we see in them is how they feel about themselves. It seems that most people have a healthy respect, if not a pervasive fear, concerning this business of living. They don't seem to want to commit themselves. In fact, we often hear such people say, "With my luck, the whole thing will go down the drain," which seems to indicate that they're not too sure about how things are going to turn out. Let's say they're tentative, diffident. Not so the person with the great attitude. This person meets life head-on with every expectation of winning. To these people, a failure is simply a learning process and has nothing whatever to do with the final result. They expect success, and they usually get success in everything they undertake. Rather than being suspicious of life, they love life. They love change. They love opportunity. They seem to look on life as a series of ascending steps leading from one plateau to another, always upward, always more interesting, more challenging. And they love people. They see potential in people, and the people realize it. They're warmed and encouraged by it. With this guy or this gal, anything is possible, people will say, and mean it. So a great attitude comes from good self-esteem, and good self-esteem means simply, I like me. I have confidence in where we're going and my ability to help us get there. Good self-esteem means I think there's more good than bad in the world, and that I have every right to the good, as long as I do my job to the very best of my ability. Good self-esteem means I consider myself a successful person on the road to perfectly reasonable goals. Good self-esteem means I expect to win more than I lose, and that when I lose, it's only temporary, and in fact is a way of teaching me how to win next time. An occasional failure doesn't get me down. I don't blame myself unnecessarily for the occasional failure I experience. It's just the way things are. Failing once in a while is necessary to winning in the end. In fact, I realize that I can strike out 7 times out of 10 and still bat 300, which makes me one of the top hitters in the game. Now, I'm not a perfectionist because I realize that perfection is unattainable, but I will do my very best in all that I undertake. I will strive for perfection, even though I realize that it's an impossible goal. Now, I don't mean to say that the person with the great attitude necessarily says all of those things to him or herself, but it's a pretty good summary of the way people feel who have high self-esteem and a great attitude toward everything in their lives. These people wake up in the morning with the feeling that it's going to be a good day. In fact, they come to work feeling and appearing just the opposite of the way in which most people go to work. The fact is that in a country as rich and productive as ours, people can survive with very little effort. But that's what they have to do then. Survive. And that's not enough for you and me. The person with the great attitude expects and plans on a great future. He calls his own shots in life, sets his own income levels, and achieves his own goals on or near schedule, one after another, all the years of his interesting and very rewarding life. And such people come in both sexes, all ages, all colors and nationalities. If we don't make it, if we don't live great lives, It's our fault, and no one else's. It's because we didn't plan and prepare for them. A good deal of a great attitude comes from knowing where you're going. It's exciting. It's fun to think about the things you're going to have and experience, and a great attitude is the result. The person with the good attitude gets attention. He or she isn't trying to get attention, but that's what happens. People are drawn to the person with a good attitude. They want to be around that person, to be his or her friend. They seem to draw psychological nourishment from such people. They're cheered by such people. They feel better when they're around such people. And such people are always at the center of things. They're the people that teachers turn to for special projects, for leadership. They're often elected to top-class offices, and their attitude is just as important in sports as it is anywhere else. The great Roger Staubach, the Hall of Fame former quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, once asked me to write a foreword for his new book. Well, I was happy and honored to do so, and in our conversations he made it clear that it was the attitude of the quarterback that gave the team a winning momentum, or, if the attitude was bad, caused them to play lackluster football. When the quarterback came to the huddle with the attitude that they were going to march all the way to the end zone, the spirit infected the whole team, and they played just that much better. Roger Staubach, both at the U.S. Naval Academy and as a member of the Dallas Cowboys, was one of the winningest quarterbacks in football history. He's a man with a great attitude, a winning attitude.